Woke up this morning feeling excellent. Picked up the telephone, dialed the number of my equal opportunity employer to inform him I will not be in to work today. Are you feeling sick? The boss asked me. No, sir, I replied. I am feeling too good to report to work today. If I feel sick tomorrow, I will come in early.
This poem that I've been working on for like 7 years and is entitled Who Will Want You? And I've read it many, many times before, and every time I read it, I say this will be the last time that I'm going to read it. So this will be the last time I'm going to read it. It's entitled Who Will Want You? This is the way it goes. When the doors of spring have closed and your sex appeal has froze and your heart starts beating slow and the wind knocks you down when it blows and the years that come and go find you hanging out in X-rated picture shows, who will want you? You were proud making the scene when your eyes were young and green, looking good and looking clean, modeling for magazines, men treated you like a queen. You had it made so it seemed, but when it's too late for Listerine, who will want you? When you can no longer comb your hair because there is nothing there for the comb to get somewhere, and it really hurts to stare at yourself minus your hair, totally disgusted with the air that will inherit your underwears, who will want you? When you find yourself dismayed in a room at the YMCA with nobody but yourself to play, looking forward for the day when the night will come to stay and you no longer have to play with yourself at the YMCA, who will want you? When your legs start feeling weak and it hurts to take a leak and the wind extends your losing streak for turning the other cheek to a future that looks extremely bleak, and you are the only one who listens when you speak, who will want you? When your appearance makes you depressed and you are down to your last dress and your best friend is loneliness and the landlord gives you a dispossessed and your date of birth you have to guess, and only the mortician is impressed when you discovered you lost your breast, who will want you? When your head constantly aches and your entire body shakes and the aspirins that you take cannot correct your mistake and no psychosomatic emergency brake will stop you from jumping into lake, when your life you decide to take, who will want you? When all you find the time to do is wish for your tired toes to itch so you can scratch and afterwards bish about the success you failed to accomplish when you are the master of your favorite dish and you cannot fight so you must switch from sirloin steak to a can of tuna fish, who will want you? When your medical expense leaves your mind making no sense and all day long you are very tense, unable to deal with the suspense on the other side of the fence where you will lose your confidence on a hearing aid or a contact lens, who will want you? When everyone but you seems very tall and trying to rise you repeatedly fall and you turn the lights on and off for no logical reason at all while you stare at 4 blank walls waiting for an obscene telephone call, who will want you? When your clothes no longer fit and your only ambition in life is to sit on the toilet seat to take a shit, lamenting the fact that you had to quit before your astrological sign became a hit, and there's nothing else to do but split or stay home and play with your own spit, who will want you? When your dreams go down the drain and all you can do correctly is complain and you fall to pieces every time it rains and your congressman is unable to explain what the hell went wrong with your brains as you ride back and forth going insane on the Times Square shuttle subway train, who will want you? When you have no more ambitions and you make no more decisions and all you do is watch television on a rocking chair in critical condition and you eat your meals in the same position and you move your bowels at intermission without getting up to obey traditions, who will want you? When you look in the mirror and start screaming, don't wake up, you are not dreaming. Don't call an ambulance, you are not bleeding. Don't slow down, you are not speeding. It's too late for survival meetings when you find your mind repeating, I wish my heart will stop beating. Who will want you? Start getting prepared for a long nightmare. Do not bleach your hair, no one really cares. You who look so well, now you dress like hell. It's too late to sell that body that smells. Trying to make it big, you became a pig. It's too late for wigs, your grave you must dig. Every now and then you might meet again with a long lost friend who will give you 10. But that will not do a goddamn thing for you. Face it, you are through. Snip some airplane glue. It's no use to frown or try to leave town. You must stick around to go underground. There's no turning back, start dressing in black. Find a wall to smack, you have really cracked. Don't try to repent or update your rent. Your back will stay bent without your consent. After that beer can, don't make any plan. Leave your frying pan. There's no promised land. Life happens this way, young, you cannot stay. When your hair turns gray and you pass away, who will want you? Who will want you? Who will want on you? Hallelujah. Life has screw ya. Life has screw. Ooh, ooh, you. Thank you.
Yo soy reverendo de la iglesia de la Madre de los Tomates. Si alguien se quiere casar, yo puedo casarme, bautizar y dar pescosas también. Mira, todos ustedes se colaron, ¿ok? Porque la hoja decía $3. So, lo que vamos a hacer, en la salida le vamos a cobrar. Y el que no pague se tiene que quedar aquí. Voy a empezar con un poema. Y antes de este poema, quiero más o menos, tú sabes, mi amiga y mi hermana, la que me sacó de clase, porque yo era bien tímido, tenía que tomar para hablar, y tomé tanto que me jodí. ¿Sabes? Quiero más o menos darle las gracias a Alicia Pagán por estas cosas. Al público que está leyendo sobre, está loco. Sí, el primer poema se titula To get drunk you have to drink. Que lo leo todo. Unseen faces keep appearing in the evening of the sky. No one saw what they were hearing. Unseen faces keep appearing. Those who are not born were fearing that they too will someday die. Unseen faces keep appearing in the evening of the sky. There was never no tomorrow, it was all about today. When you and that person quarrels, there was never no tomorrow. Return all the dreams you borrow, that will never come your way. There was never no tomorrow, it was all about today. This planet is still unknown, though it may seem very clear. Mysteries are all we own. This planet is still unknown. Everyone alive stays stoned until it's time to disappear. This planet is still unknown, though it may seem very clear. Start driving without a car, or the lights are turning red. If you want to get real far, start driving without a car. Move by staying where you are. The steering wheel is in your head. Start driving without a car, or the lights are turning red. Inside darkness there is light. Inside water there is fire. Black magic is out of sight. Inside darkness there is light. Turning left is turning right. Coming down will get you higher. Inside darkness there is light. Inside water there is fire. Blue was never really blue. Pink was never really pink. Somebody was fooling you. Blue was never really blue. But it's false, it's really true. To get drunk you have to drink. Blue was never really blue. Pink was never really pink. Los teléfonos públicos están de carajo. ¿verdad? Y si va a llamar a alguien en esos teléfonos para pedirle la peseta, en una noche yo pedí como más de 1000 pesetas para comunicar con alguien. Yo escribí sobre esa experiencia y voy a leerlo por aquí. Escribí como más de 2000, voy a dejar que voy a leer como 500. Este telephone booth number 905.5. Dice así: desperté esta mañana sintiéndome excelente. Cojo el teléfono, marco el número de mi jefe de empleo y le digo, no voy a trabajar hoy. ¿Y por qué no?, pregunta el jefe. ¿Estás enfermo? No, me siento demasiado bien para ir a trabajar hoy. Si estoy enfermo mañana, llego temprano. Telephone booth número 801. No miro a un hombre como miro a una mujer. One makes me very bellaco and the other one doesn't. Pero no voy a decir cuál. Si tiene esa información se tiene que desnudar. Telephone booth number 310. Cuando yo era muchachito, tenía muchísimas novias imaginarias. Ahora que soy adulto, me hace muchísima falta. Telephone booth number 507. Me tiraré por una ventana para darte placer sexual, pero solamente si usted vive en el sótano. Telephone booth número 50. Tú y tu botella y tu yerba buena y tu coca sin cola están invitados a una fiesta. Si no puede venir, mande tu botella y tu yerba buena y tu coca sin cola para continuar la fiesta hasta que usted pueda fiestar con nosotros. Esto es una carta escrita por mi hermano, Dr. Willy, que no está aquí hoy porque es un freelance gynecologist y está bien busy. Y la traducción la hizo mi amigo, dice así: querido amigo, espero que cuando nos recibas esta carta sacarás tiempo para leerla. Ha sido tan bueno no verte por aquí. Recuerdo con emoción cosas que nunca hicimos y todavía conservo todos los regalos que nunca me diste. A veces me siento en lo oscuro con las luces prendidas y me río solo de todas las veces que me hiciste llorar. Ahora mismo desearía que estuvieras aquí y yo en cualquier otra parte. ¿Recuerdas la foto que nunca me diste? Pues la perdí. Siempre está nunca en mi mente. Te echo poquísimo de menos. Significas tan poco para mí. Desde que no nos vemos, mis días son más brillantes. Eres un sueño, sí. Eres un sueño que la verdad, siempre sueño con todos menos tú. Te veo venir por la calle de espaldas y saludo a otras gentes. Nunca dejaré de no pensar en ti. Espero que recibas esta carta que no tengo intenciones de enviarte. Amor siempre, alguien que te odia o viceversa o vice. Este próximo poema es una canción que yo escribí con el hijito mío que tiene 4 años y medio. Cuando yo era joven, Tricia, ¿te recuerdas de esto? Mi familia me mandaba al campo de verano por 2 semanas, ¿verdad? Un campo gringo, y nosotros regresamos de ese campo con los ojos azules y el pelo rubio hasta que quedamos en el espejo. Carajo, ¿qué pasó? Yo escribí esto con el hijito mío, porque dije al hijo mío, mira, no te apures, vamos a sudar juntos, jamás te mando un campo gringo, ¿ok? Y esta canción la escribí con ese titula Countdown Cocky. ¿Verdad? ¿Entendés eso? Ok. Countdown Cocky se titula. Una canción corta. Dice así: they call him. Talking Spanish, you remember my friend Tato was suspended for calling his counselor a pato. Mijo, oh mami papi, mijo, hey mami. Don't like breakfast, lunch or dinner. I seem to be getting thinner. Rice and beans are nunca served here, and the canned food has given me diarrhea. Rattlesnakes are an attraction. They believe in affirmative action. Don't want to get you excited. There are rumors chupacabras have been sighted. Mijo, oh mami papi, mijo, hey mami. West Maryland, almost drowned, and was scolded for not drowning. Here they only take us hiking when it seems for sure that lightning will be striking. Those mosquitoes, son bilingual, they come with us to play bingo. The camp masters, pantalones, smells like something that reminds you of mojones. I'm a very lonely fellow. I really miss the ghetto. No merengues or salsa music. Just quit dancing and you better not refuse it. Pedro Express, beef fried chicken, and then maybe I'll stop bitching. Come and get me, I am pleading. I have more from one chase to give me a beating. The lights have just been extinguished. Now I can't stop talking English. Este campo es el demonio y mucho más feo que un manicomio. Take me home, mama papi, take me home, mama papi, take me home, mama papi. Now kaki papi, kaki, take me home, mama papi. Por favor. This is a loco, se titula She Called Me Puto. She called me puto. She hasn't called me puto in a very long time. She called me puto. I almost lost my mind. And the night refused to end. The morning got at leisure till she called me puto again. She called me puto. Now we are good friends, and maybe next week we'll start dating again. She called me puto, and maybe the week after the next week we will be engaged once again. She called me puto, and then the week after next week we get married forever again. She called me puto. And the week after the week after the week that becomes next week, she'll let me spend the night with her again, reciting the unmentioned to get romance across. She called me puto. And then the week after the week after the week after the other week, we'll awaken together every morning of the week for the rest of the weeks of our lives. She called me puto. And what is a puto? A puto is a puto, and that's what a puto is. But not the puto that really means puto. When she calls me puto, she means a good puto and not a bad puto. Now at last I can relax and shut my eyes and dream about how good it feels to be called puto by she who calls me puto. Esto lo encontré afuera de la puerta de casa. Dice, welcome to the bilingual psychiatric hotline. If you are obsessive, compulsive, please press 1 repeatedly. If you are codependent, please ask someone to press 2. If you have multiple personalities, please press 3, 4, 5, and 6. If you are paranoid, delusional, we know who you are and what you want. Just stay on the line so we can trace the call. If you are schizophrenic, listen carefully and a little voice will tell you which number to press. If you are manic depressive, it doesn't matter which number you press, no one will answer. Voy a terminar con el Spanish National Anthem. Now, yo nací en Ponce, ¿verdad? Y vine a Puerto, me fui de Ponce a la edad de 3 años para buscar empleo. Y en Nueva York, la maestra me dijo, está prohibido hablar español y no me enseñó inglés. So me quedé mudo. Y tuve que dar con la mano, así vaya. Y Spanish National Anthem, mucha gente critica la usada de Spanish, pero no nos critiquen porque para hablar tu idioma a la misma vez, eso es inteligencia y no brutalidad. In my viejo San Juan, they raised the price of pan, so I fly to Manhattan. It was there, I swear, everyone took welfare, especially the Latins. To El Barrio I went, in pursuit of laureate, in a fiery apartment, where my neighbors will be, Puerto Ricans like me, dressed in tropical garments. I know. I miss Puerto Rico, land of the palm trees, and so. I live in barrios, I think community. Y when me pego en la bolita, I return to San Juan, or for the price of pan till my vida is done. Many years came and went, fell behind on my rent, cursed Christopher Columbus. Worked as hard as I could, but my luck was no good, never once hit the numbers. Now every day I pray before passing away and going 6 foot under, that again I will see people who look like me in my island of wonders. I know. I wish Puerto Rico in the 93, and so. Once in Puerto Rico won't be a minority. Y pa el carajo with the numbers. If I can't fly, I'll swim straight from El Barrio back to Puerto Rico. The weather wasn't nice, comfort cost a high price, unlike in Puerto Rico. We kept cooking the rice and reheating the beans and making gucci frito. Time for plenty, the parquet stay empty, pero el sol nunca dies, and who thought we survived, and that's after we cried, defending nuestro pride. I know. Next stop's Puerto Rico, so help me OTV, and so. Chico by the Statue of Liberty. Eat con familia and friends. Good times will never end. Learn how to laugh again and stop shitting on 10. In Spanish there were bills. In English there were bills that just kept getting bigger. Categorized as hits. We were called dirty spics, blanco trashy black niggas. Las botánicas say, a strum and early grave, all that sprinting was killed you. Muchas gracias, Shango, la plena y el mambo for coming to the rescue. I know. We have been in limbo here in New York City, and so. Misplaced my soul somewhere in New Jersey. Porque blood is thicker than Coca-Cola. I have very high hopes of rejoining my folks, but then we nunca broke. We registered to vote, thinking that there was hope in elected officials. Pero as soon as they win, for a moment they grin, then they drop all the issues. Many dropped out of school, others went to college, trying hard to get somewhere. In the land of the free, without a degree, you cannot call it welfare. I know. I'll always play dominoes, wherever I may be, and go. To local bodegas, for bustelo coffee, porque I'm still in Puerto Rico. Only my body came, my strong spirit remained, everything's still the same. I truly do believe you can live and still be with mommy and papi. So they assimilate in the United States. They got rid of the accent. Though whenever they spoke, you knew who were their folks. That will always unmask them. But the majority kept their identity, never did lose the accent. They were proud, not ashamed of their Boricua names. If you don't believe, ask them. I am being followed by my destiny, and so I will not be swallowed by inferiority. When the place takes off again, I know that there will be no return trip for me back to New York City. I am blessed by the sun, don't dare my roots are from. Here I come, and with my family, we'll struggle and be
They worked. They were always on time. They were never late. They never spoke back when they were insulted. They worked. They never went on strike without permission. They never took days off that were not on the calendar. They worked 10 days a week and were only paid for 5. They worked, they worked, they worked and they died. They died broke. They died owing. They died never knowing what the front entrance of the First National City Bank looks like. Juan, Miguel, Milagro, Olga, Manuel, all died yesterday, today, and will die again tomorrow, passing their bill collectors on to the next of kin. All die waiting for the Garden of Eden to open up again under a new management. All die dreaming about America, waking them up in the middle of the night screaming, "Mira, mira, your name is on the winning lottery ticket for $100,000. All die hating the grocery stores that sold them make-believe steak and bulletproof rice and beans. All die dreaming, hating, and waiting. Dead Puerto Ricans who never knew they were Puerto Ricans, who never took a coffee break from the 10 Commandments to kill, kill, kill the landlords of their cracked skulls and communicate with their Latin souls. Juan, Miguel, Milagro, Olga, Manuel, from the nervous breakdown streets where the mice live like millionaires and the people do not live at all. They are dead, and will not return from the dead until they stop neglecting the art of their dialogue for broken English lessons to impress the system who keeps them employed as lavaplatos, porters, messenger boys, factory workers, maids, stock clerks, shipping clerks, assistant mailroom assistant to the assistant lavaplatos, and automatic artificial smile endowment for the lowest wages of the ages and rages when you demand a raise because it's against the company policies to promote spics. Here lies Juan, here lies Miguel, here lies Milagros, here lies Olga, here lies Manuel, who died yesterday, today, and will die again tomorrow, always broke, always owing, never knowing that they are beautiful people.
Estuve allá como un año o año y medio, fui criado aquí. So, la experiencia de allá, tú sabes que no hay memoria de lo que pasó allá, todo es de aquí, ¿entiendes? Por eso que digo que I'm a born again native New Yorker, porque todas las costumbres son, tú sabes, la cultura, perdón, pero todavía hablo, tú sabes. Toda experiencia es de acá, ¿verdad? Pero nací allá en el 45, en el 44, el 21, el día de la masacre, 21 de marzo. ¿Qué más quieres? ¿Qué más te digo?
¿Por qué razón vinieron a este país?
¿Qué?
¿Por qué razón vino usted y su familia a este país?
Bueno, porque...
Excuse me, we're going to air this on Public Radio 88. WBGL?
Right.
You have a station?
No, I don't.
Could you do it in English?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to speak in English right now. And Pedro Pietri is the author of Puerto Rican Obituary. Pedro, could you explain to us, right? Why did you title this book Puerto Rican Obituary?
Okay, it was titled Puerto Rican Obituary because the experiences were more or less conducive to the title Obituary. Where we were raised up, people came here, they migrated from Puerto Rico, pursuing a dream, an American dream, trying to find a better way of living. And instead what they found was slums, ghettos, factory jobs, disappointments, and a lot of gambling and a lot of miserable situations. And yet they all just stood here waiting to make that dream come true. And they died with these hopes and minds. They died dreaming about going back, as the poem explains. And so more or less it's their experience, that whole adventure of coming from somewhere, nowhere, and never getting back there. So this is why it was named Obituary. I mean, being raised up in this environment and seeing people dying, and those who cried the most at the funerals always remember, well, he wanted to do this, he wanted to do that. had he hit this number, he would have still been alive today. And that's why I've titled it Obituary. Because let's say from 1950 till about the mid-60s when the book was written, this is more or less what went on with those who migrated from Puerto Rico over here in the 40s. That none of their dreams were achieved, none of their ambitions were realized. And this is why a lot of people have told me, well, such a negative title. Well, it was a negative experience. But I try to more or less humor it up, but still reminding everybody that it was a very sad experience, you know.
This is a book of poetry, right?
It's a book of poetry. It's autobiographical poems, and they're long poems. And more or less, the poems were written in the oral tradition, whereas I first memorized them and then wrote them down because due to the, as I mentioned before, the lack of education in these schools that I was supposed to be educated in, we didn't learn about literature. But the memory still went back from, you know, the whole cultural thing of storytelling that we're so fluent at. So I memorized all the poems first and then I wrote them. And the poems were like, came from conversations with people. They say, fulano de tal se murió. And so then we just write it down, another casualty, and this is what structured the poems. You know, the whole thing when you're in parties and when you're dancing, and, or the family sits down on Sunday and just talks and talks. And I was also raised up listening to the radio, you know? What?
Where were you raised?
I was raised up in Manhattan, 135th Amsterdam Avenue. It was sort of a multicultural neighborhood in the beginning, but then 5 years later it all became a Puerto Rican neighborhood. And then they broke it down and moved us to some projects, you know, so we were always being relocated, so we never really had any time to understand anything about ourselves. But in the process, all these people did die. They died trying to find this dream that they came looking for, and they're still dying. I mean, this poem is good for the Dominicans, for all of them, because every new generation that comes from some different country thinking that this is the promised land, it applies to them because you get hooked up with numbers, religion, and dreams that are unrealistic. And trying to work within the system to make these dreams come true is like defeating your purpose, and that's why they all went into this obituary. And it applies. Oh, go ahead. Any more questions?
No, thank you very much.
Was that it? So I'll read one more poem to more or less summarize what really happens, okay? This is entitled Telephone Booth Number 905. And it's from a series of telephone calls that I made in these phone booths that were out of order. And one night, I was very lonely and I wanted to speak with a lot of people. And I spent like about $20 in dimes. And on my last dime that I lost, I said, the hell with it, I'll speak anyway. And I wrote like a whole collection of poems. And I'll read this one because this is like the best poem of them all. It's entitled Telephone Booth 905 and a half. Woke up this morning feeling excellent. Picked up the telephone, dialed the number of my equal opportunity employer to inform him I will not be in to work today. Are you feeling sick, the boss asked me. No, sir, I replied. I am feeling too good to report to work today. If I feel sick tomorrow, I will come in very early.
Oh, he lifted us right up. How lovely.
Thank you very much to our participants. I know that we are waiting in the faculty lounge, but if there is someone who wants to ask 1 or 2 questions, I think we can stay here for 5 minutes more. Yes.
I have a question I have to ask, and I thank Mr. Soto for making this comment about the absence of the Chicano writers. This question has a lot to do with these Chicano writers, and I wonder if anybody can talk about the problem that they and others like you may have with language. What's the effect of a kind of duplicity on the writer himself, thinking, writing it down, and on who he expects to be his audience, or on the people who may not share that Chicano or other ethnic experience, but may want to.
Do not go here.
So you want a comment on mine, on what?
Or another question.
Very well. Well, concerning language, I put it, remembering my own experience. When I came to New York, I was only 18. I had conquered high school diploma. I went into university for my bachelor's degree. And after 6 years, was it? No, 4 years. What usually it takes to claim a diploma. I discovered that I had begun to lose dominion of my language, Spanish. I grew scared and went to visit every damn library in town, all the branches, Aguilar and all that, in order to gather the necessary books to read and to teach myself, among other things, something that they had forgot to teach me in high school, grammar, Spanish grammar. I was my own teacher at the same time that I was beginning to write in English. And then, facing myself one time in the mirror one day, I said to myself that I had to come to a conclusion. Either I was going to be an American writer or I was going to be a Puerto Rican writer. I chose to be a Puerto Rican writer. Even though I have attacked the idea that writing in English is not right for a Puerto Rican. I don't give a damn about that, but because who am I to accuse Pietri or accuse Perry Thomas that they are not Puerto Ricans because they don't write in English when I, as a Puerto Rican, didn't do a damn thing for them to teach him Spanish in school. So I am against that particular theory, which has become a chauvinistic theory in Puerto Rico, as it has become also regarding the Chicano groups in Mexico. Most of them are loved, others, most of them are detested in Mexico as non-Mexicans, as Pachucos, which is the most prejudiced nickname they get. What else can I say? I don't know if I answered anything.
Yesterday, the comment was made at the playwright forum that there was no Spanish theater because of language, and yet we know that the Yiddish theater in New York City thrived, and I could not accept that comment, and I wonder if you would comment.
There's no Spanish theater? That there was no Spanish?
They said that there was no grassroots, it was said at the forum yesterday. And
I didn't hear that. I
didn't hear that either.
And we better run back to El Barrio and tell them that they're not there.
Yeah. No, what was it? Barak claims is that the conditions are different as far as growing up as a Negro, as a black, in New York or whatever city, and the condition being different because of the language thing. You know, they don't have to learn a language. We have to learn a language, and that language is the language of the conqueror, which is English. So that the whole condition and the whole the series of opportunities that we have are quite different, even in Puerto Rico, where the theater is pretty much dead or is dying. Well, and you don't have here anything but, well, some sketches from time to time. Of course, Short Eyes, which is a pretty short play also. Things like that. You know, but it's a young genre for as far as getting into that. It's not ready. Writers here are not ready because remember that the theater is also a collective genre, and it suffers from too many intermediaries, plus a matter of capital, which is pretty important.
Well, thank you very much for.
Suicide note from a cockroach in a low-income housing project. I hate the world. I am depressed. I am deprived. I am depraved. I am ready to propose to the grave. Life is too complicated to proceed. Fate is the only medicine I need to feel good. Seriously speaking, I am seriously seeking the exit to leave this existence. My resistance is low and will not grow. Rent control, my ghost will haunt you. I hate the world. I am dejected. I am rejected. I am neglected and disrespected ever since these damn liberals got elected and corrected nothing really important. I am starving. I am no good at robbing. I have no ambitions. These damn housing projects are responsible for my nervous condition. I hate you credit cards. Because of you, there is a pain in my brain. Because of you, all the minority groups own a television set and will not let me sleep at night watching the Late Late Show at full blast. I hate the world. I hate the world. I hate the world. I am disgusted. I am totally busted. The welfare department will not handle my case. I am homesick for the past, when radios used to be a luxury for the minority groups, and there were no such things as the Late Late Show. Oh, how I hate those damn anti-poverty programs. I am hungry. My folks are hungry. My friends are hungry. Every member of our generation is a victim of starvation. We are down and out without a future to look forward to. We are through. I attend over 10 funerals every day. I don't have time to send my black melancholy suit to the cleaners anymore. That is how bad the situation is. And all because, all of a sudden, everybody wants to be somebody. This is ridiculous. This is absurd. Why should our race be erased to make America a beautiful place for everyone but us? We are the real Americans. We was here before Columbus. We was here before General Electric. We was here before the S. Sullivan Show. We are older than Adam and Eve. Noah also took cockroaches into his ark. Why should we be denied coexistence? I used to come from a very large family, and now I am down to my last second cousin-in-law. I have been married 7 times. I have never been divorced. All my wives and husbands are now resting in peace. None of them died from natural cause. They have all been fatal casualties of the games the great society plays. This so-called civilization nation has made a lonely cockroach out of me. My insurance company has informed me that they will not insure another wife or husband I take. They think I am trying to make a living out of this. They are dead wrong. I come from a good non-Catholic, non-Protestant, non-Jewish home. I have never read the Holy Bible. I will never read the Holy Bible. Cockroaches in their right minds will never go near the Holy Bible. Bible reading is a dangerous mission. It's like committing suicide to get to heaven. I once had this uncle who was very religious. He read the good book all the time. One day he fell asleep reading the 23rd Psalm and woke up in the hereafter the following morning. The owner of the Bible closed the book on him. If those are the kind of people that go to heaven, you can send me to hell, Lord. My first wife lived a very short life. Tragedy came, separated our name the first year we started our atmosphere. She was ambushed by this retarded boy who destroyed her pride and swallowed her body after she died. My second wife lived a shorter life. When tragedy came and separated our name, she was still a virgin. We were married in the afternoon, and somebody stepped on her on our way to the honeymoon. My third wife was taking a shortcut home through the kitchen sink. A homicidal maniac saw her while taking a drink and turned on the hot water. My first husband lost his sacred life in a DDT strike coming home from the AMP for insects only. I was in tears for 1 whole year after he disappeared from the atmosphere, because the day before his destiny came near, his insurance policy lapsed. I mailed a payment a week before he died, but somebody stepped on the mailman and the payment never arrived. My second husband was suffocated by this complicated, mentally constipated fire engine impersonator who got his kicks kidnapping cockroaches, molesting them sexually, and throwing them into empty Coca-Cola bottles and putting the cap back on and keeping them without air until their life was gone. My third husband lived a miserable life. He had lung cancer, 10 wooden legs, 1 glass eye, 50-50 vision on his good eye, a weak heart, a broken back, respiratory ailment, undernourished, mentally discouraged, unemployed eardrums, condemned features, and bad breath galore. From a bottle of weight-reducing pills he shoplifted at the drugstore. I gave him a divorce, not because his health was hazardous to my health. I gave him a divorce because he wanted me to sell my body to science and give him the money for plastic surgery. 1 week before celebrating his last unhappy birthday at the funeral parlor, he hit the numbers for $1,000, went to the hospital and paid cash for a heart transplant, an eyes transplant, a face transplant, a legs transplant, a lung transplant, a rear end transplant, a breath transplant, and he was all set to live and let live for 100 years. But on his way home from the hospital, somebody stepped on him, and that was the end of his breathing career. So you see, you cannot really blame me for wanting to seduce my destiny. I have nothing else to live for in this corrupted world. The employment situation is bad. The starvation situation is worse. It hurts to continue living like this. Cockroaches are starving to death ever since incinerators came into the life of the minority groups. In the old buildings, the people were very close to everything they had. Food was never thrown away, but today everything is going into those incinerators. The last family that lived here took the incinerator to get to the first floor. They do not live here anymore. Damn these low-income housing projects. Years ago, suicide was never spoken, but today, suicide is a luxury for a heartbroken cockroach trying to make a decent living in a low-income housing project. Goodbye, cruel world. I am through being screwed by your crossword puzzles. When the bomb comes down, I will not be around. Forward my mail to your conscience when you get one. The last request the cockroach made was to be cremated, so I lit it up and smoked it. Start getting prepared for a long nightmare. Do not bleach your hair, no one really cares. You who dress so well, now you look like hell. It's too late to sell that body that smells. Trying to make it big, you became a pig.
too late for wigs. Your grave you must dig. Life happens this way. Young you cannot stay. When your hair turns gray and you pass away, who will want you? Who will want you? Who will want you? Hallelujah, life has grew ya, life has grew. Ooh, ooh, you.
Puerto Rican obituary. They were always on time. They were never late. They never spoke back when they were insulted. They worked. They never took days off that were not on the calendar. They never went on strike without permission. They worked 10 days a week and were only paid for 5. They worked, and they died. They died broke. They died owing. They died never knowing what the front entrance of the First National City Bank looks like. Juan, Miguel, Milagros, Olga, Manuel, all died yesterday, today, and will die again tomorrow, passing their bill collectors on to the next of kin. All die waiting for the Garden of Eden to open up again under a new management. All die dreaming about America, waking them up in the middle of the night, screaming, "Mira, mira, your name is on the winning lottery ticket for $100,000. All die hating the grocery stores that sold them make-believe steak and bulletproof rice and beans. All die waiting, dreaming, and hating. Dead Puerto Ricans who never knew they were Puerto Ricans, who never took a coffee break from the 10 Commandments to kill the landlords of their cracked skulls and communicate with their Latino souls. Juan, Miguel, Milagros, Olga, Manuel, from the nervous breakdown streets where the mice live like millionaires and the people do not live at all, are dead and were never alive. Juan died waiting for his number to hit. Miguel died waiting for the welfare check to come and go and come again. Milagros died waiting for her 10 children to grow up and work so she could quit working. Olga died waiting for a $5 raise. Manuel died waiting for his supervisor to drop dead so he could get a promotion. It's a long ride from Spanish Harlem to Long Island Cemetery where they were buried. First the train and then the bus and the cold cuts for lunch and the flowers that will be stolen when visiting hours are over. It's very expensive, but they understand. Their parents understood. It's a long non-profit ride from Spanish Harlem to Long Island Cemetery. Juan, Miguel, Milagros, Olga, Manuel, all died yesterday, today, and will die again tomorrow. Dreams, clean-cut, lily-white neighborhood, Puerto Rican is seen, $30,000 home, the first pigs on the block, proud to belong to a community of gringos who want them lynched, proud to be a long distance away from the sacred phrase, ¿Qué pasa? These dreams, these empty dreams from the make-believe bedrooms their parents left them are the after effects of television programs about the ideal white American family with black maids and Latino janitors who are well trained to make everyone and their bill collectors laugh at them and the people they represent. Juan died dreaming about a new car. Miguel died dreaming about new anti-poverty programs. Milagros died dreaming about a trip to Puerto Rico. Olga died dreaming about real jewelry. Manuel died dreaming about the Irish sweepstakes. They all died like a hero sandwich dies in the garment district at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Social security numbers to ashes, union dues to dust.
They knew they were born to weep and keep the morticians employed as long as they pledge allegiance to the flag that wants them destroyed. They saw their names listed in the telephone directory of destruction. They were trained to turn the other cheeks by newspapers that misspelled, mispronounced, and misunderstood their names, and celebrated when death came and stole their final laundry tickets. They were born dead and they died dead. It's time to visit Sister Lopez again, the #1 healer and fortune card dealer in Spanish Holland. She can communicate with your late relatives for a reasonable fee. Good news is guaranteed. Juan, Miguel, Milagros, Olga, Manuel all died yesterday, today, and will die again tomorrow, hating, fighting, and stealing broken windows from each other, practicing a religion without a roof, the Old Testament, the New Testament, according to the gospel of the Internal Revenue, the judge and jury, an executioner, protector, an eternal bill collector, second-hand ish for sale. Learn how to say como está usted, and you will make a fortune. They are dead, and will not return from the dead until they stop neglecting the art of their dialogue for broken English lessons to impress the Mr. Goldsteins who keep them employed as lavaplatos, porters, messenger boys, factory workers, maids, stock clerks, shipping clerk, assistant, mailroom assistant, assistant to the assistant, lavaplatos, and automatic artificial smiling doorman for the lowest wages of the ages and rages when you demand a raise because it's against the company policies to promote speaks. Juan died hating Miguel because Miguel's used car was in better running condition than his used car. Miguel died hating Milagros because Milagros had a color television set and he could not afford one yet. Milagros died hating Olga because Olga made $5 more on the same job. Olga died hating Manuel because Manuel had hit the numbers more times than she had hit the numbers. Manuel died hating all of them, Juan, Miguel, Milagros, and Olga because they all spoke broken English more fluently than he did.
All we can ask for is the epitaph of courage on our tombstones. The Pietris went against the norm. Think about this, Puerto Ricanos. We are a people who are here, 3 million in this country, and we better make a decision about who we want to be and where we want to go. Pedro is sitting right there. He always made fun of our hypocrisy. Where do you want to go? What do you want in this state? What do you want in this country? Who do you want to be? What do you want your children to be? Do not let people fool you. There is still a war going on. That's right. Keep on playing around and you will lose this. They will say there once was a people called Puerto Rican. They were cute, they were bilingual, and they lost. And they will talk about you like they talk about the Sioux Indians. They were hip, but they ain't here no more. We laugh, but it's true. Every other Latino group that has come says to me, if it wasn't for Puerto Ricans, we would not be here.